that when the leadership arrives, we don't want anyone in this passage. Comrades, we said when the leadership arrives, we don't want anyone, no passage. The fighter with a 10-year anniversary, yes. And then I will request everyone who's sitting by the wall there to shift to your left, totally to your left. And those ones who are at the door, we don't want anyone there. Everyone, all in Kukorong, rekopa clean, clear, proper space there. Give me a space there. DOR, can you clear the door? Can we get an open space there? Puelo, those fighters in front and behind you, please go to your right-hand side. Everyone, when the president arrives, we don't want anyone loitering outside. We don't want anyone loitering. And also on my left-hand side at the back, if you are standing, go towards my right-hand side. If you are standing, please, everyone, we need that space. Restori, where are you? Amandla. 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 Awethu. Awethu. Matla. Matla. Aruna. Aruna. Aykhole Northern Cape. Aykhole. Aykhole Northern Cape. Aykhole. Tata BETF. Tata. Tata BETF. Tata. Amandla. Amandla. Thank you very much, comrades. May we please be seated. And thanks for the discipline once again. Comrades, we are not going to waste time because of the program of the day is exactly what we are here for. We are here to be given umkhomba ndlela. So mine is just to open the program properly in a manner which befit the economic freedom fighters. By doing so, we'll call commissars now to come and sing anthem yarena as the EFF and Africans. Commissars now.
Mandla. Awethu. Thank you very much. Let's all stand at attention, fighters. You already are. Let's take off our hats unless you're wearing a beret, because a beret is a salute. So we're going to sing Ngosisikileli Africa without this stem as composed by Enoch Sontonga. So without this stem, which was sung in Flag Plus when our people were being tortured. Ngosisikileli Africa. Maluphakanyisu phondo lwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu, Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo. Nkosi sikeleli Afrika, maluphakanyisu phondo lwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu, Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo, sithi woza moya, hawuwoza moya, moya woza, woza moya, oyi, oyi ngcwele, Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo, murena buluka sitjhaba sa heso, ufedise dintwa le matshwenyego. Morena Bulu, Sichaba sa Yesu. O fedise dintwa le matshwenye, o sibuluke o sibuluke morena. Hausi chava sa Yesu, si chava sa Afrika usibuluke usibuluke morena. Hausi chava sa Yesu, si chava sa Afrika. Makubenjalo kute kubengunapa kate kute kubengunapa makube njalo kute kubengunapa kate kute kubengunapa kate mandla.
Thank you very much, fighters. I'm not going to waste time except to say, as the province of the Northern Cape, on behalf of our provincial leadership, RET, RECT, branches, everyone here today, you are welcomed. You are not guests in your own house, and because of we don't have anything to say, but to listen to the president of the EFF giving us Ndlela, but also giving you the report of the work that you were tasked to do. Where we are happy that you have responded positive and you are here. The president of the EFF would go back to other provinces and say at least the Northern Cape is coming together. It is not only the leadership that has done that, President. It is because of the commitment from the branches of the EFF, and we wish to get it right and perfect it. So, comrades, you are welcome, and President and CCT members, CEFT members, you are most welcome in the Northern Cape. Thank you very much. Now we are going to, I have many caps. I'm trying to be very short because of le mogote letsatsi le re bolaile. We have tried, President, to improvise by getting industrial air condition, but it defeated us. One day we'll get it right. We are going to read the credentials to the branch and present them to you as structures of the elections. We are having 26 sub-regions in the Northern Cape. We'll start by giving you the credentials of John Taulo Gaetsewe. John Taulo Gaetsewe has 3 sub-regions. Of the 3 sub-regions that are here, is Jomorolong. We expected 30 BETF coordinators and conveners, and 27 attended the meeting. In Gaskgonyana, we expected 30, and 30 is present. In Gamagara, we expected 16, and 17 is present. In Namakwa, President, in a sub-region called Rechtersveld, we expected 12, and 12 is present. Namakoi, we expected 18, and 18 is present. Kamisberg, we expected 12, 0 is present. Hantam, we expected 12, 0 is present. Karoo Hoogland, we expected 12, 12 is present. Kaima, we expected 12, 12 is present. We go to Pixley Isakaseme. Pixley has 8 sub-regions. The first region is Ubuntu, we expected 12, and 12 is present. Umsobomvu, we expected 14, and 14 is present. Mtanjeni, we expected 16, and 14 is present out of 16. Karieberg, we expected 12, 12 is present. Ronesterberg, we expected 10, 8 is present. In Tembelite, we expected 12, and 12 is present. Siatemba, we expected 12, and 12 is present. Sianguma, we expected 14, 14 is present. Keiharib is in Sianda region. Keiharib, we expected 20, 19 is present. In Keis, we expected 12, 12 is present. Katelopili, we expected 12, and 12 is present. David Kraper, we expected 34, 34 is present. And we are now in Francis Bart region. Solplaiki sub-region, we expected 66, and 66 is present. The Khatong, we expected 16, and 16 is present. In Mahareng, we expected 12, 12 is present. Pokwani, we expected 20, and 20 is present. And of the PETF, we expected 52, and 40 is present. 12 has submitted apologies. In terms of the RETFs, with the SRETFs, we expected 64, and 48 is present, and 16 submitted an apology. The PGF, President, the expected number from structures of the EFF, that is the BETF coordinators and conveners and coordinators of VDETF, the expected number was 548. We then went, President, and take VDETFs of Francis Bart. That gave us a number of 542. And when we add the number together, we are getting 1,668 of the delegation today in this meeting. Thank you very much. I'm guided properly. We expected in Hantam, in Namakwa region, fighters, we have paid for the 6 taxis of the sub-region in Namakwa. And Kamisberg and Hantam, they indicated this morning that they are on their way, up until we realize it cannot take them 18 hours to travel to Kimberley. It means they disappeared somewhere. President will make a follow-up on this matter and report. But we have paid, we have proof of payment submitted to both national chair and the convener of the Northern Cape. So we wanted to be 100% President. It is unfortunate, and we will correct that moving forward. Thank you very much, President. No, thank you, comrades. Now what is going to happen, we are going to introduce the leadership of the EFF in South Africa. We are going to do that because of it's a must. I'll do it myself, Commissars. With us, we are going to introduce only the CETF members sitting in front of us, and CETF members who are in the front row. That is the coordinator and conveners of regions. So I'll start with the region of Pixley. Pixley Kaseme is coordinated and convened by Lesego Janki and Halter. Ho itse Modimo Halter.
Lesego Janki is here. The convener is Huitsi Modimo Halter. Come, Fighter Halter. Is the chap coming in front of? Is the the convener of Pixley Isakaseme. And then we will go to Sianda region. Sianda region is coordinated, convened by our provincial treasurer, Jackie Botman. And our coordinator in the region is Fighter Paco Kautsai. And then we'll come to John Taulo Khaitsewe. We are being convened by Komisa Tseko Mafanya. Where is Komisa Tseko? Oh, he's amongst branches and fighters. Thank you, Komisa Tseko. And the coordinator is fighter Ohenchwe Penyo. And then we are now left with the biggest region of the Northern Cape, where we have 128,000 voters present in Francis Bart alone. Those votes, we need them. We are having the convener. It's a fighter, Moeketsi Konote. Is also the provincial deputy chairperson. We also have the coordinator of the region by the name of Fighter Vos Rapport. He's the host, comrades and fighters, so he has been in and around doing the rounds. So comrades, I will come here to the stage. In front of us, comrades, we're having the coordinator, the convener of Namakwa. That is the provincial secretary of the EFF in the Northern Cape. It's Komisa Z. Kwinana. And the coordinator in the region of Namakwa is Fighter Zenda Leponesa. Thank you, comrades and fighters. And behind me, I'm only going to introduce one, and then I will leave it there. I'm with the convener of the elections in the Northern Cape. If we win, it's because of her hair. If we lose, it's because of her, which we are not going to accept. So, President, if we lose, Commissar Rebecca must account. I'll come number 2. We have our mother, our sister, who, because of her commitment, President, we can safely say that our work shows that we are coordinated properly, we are being led properly, and it's because of having a mother amongst ourselves, a sister whom we'll always appreciate and support. So because of she is a woman and our mother. So that is our commissar, Rebecca Mhlala. And thank you very much. Now what I'm going to do, I'm also going to call, I don't know if protocol allows me, President and the National Chair will advise. I will directly go to call the convener just to come and give us the report of our work, who is here and who is not supposed to be here. Komisa Mhlala, thank you very much.
Amandla, away 2. Amandla, away 2. Viva EFF in Northern Cape, viva! Viva EFF in Northern Cape, viva! Iagola EFF Iagola. Iagola EFF Iagola. Iagola EFF in Namakwa Iagola. Iagola EFF in Namakwa Iagola. Iagola EFF in JTG Iagola. Iagola EFF in JTG Iagola. Iagola EFF in Francis Bart Iagola. Iagola EFF in ZF Matau Iagola. Iagola EFF in Dr. Pixley Gaseme Iagola. Amandla. Free Palestine, free. Free Palestine, free. Free Palestine, free. Free Palestine, free. Long live the Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, long live. Long live the Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, long live. Amandla. Thank you, fighters. I'm not going to waste time. Before I can say anything, kere jumelang, abusheni, huyemedak, uhandet, hodanki. So we are going to start with our report. I'm not going to waste time. It's hot here. We are not going to take a lot of time. Greetings to the Commander-in-Chief and the President, the National Chairperson, Commissar Veronica Mende, the CCT deployees deployed to Northern Cape, the PTF members, the RETF members, the SRETF members, and more importantly, the ground forces who are members of the BTFs and the VDTFs. Commander-in-Chief, the movement has resolved that our journey to total victory will require all our structures from voting district to have an intimate understanding of all duties and responsibilities. Even when the conditions are ripe, change will not come spontaneously. We must demand it and bring it to ourselves through hard work, a sense of purpose and resolve. Commander-in-Chief, we are currently guided by the election phase 1, the Maithome contained in 2024 Road to Victory Manual, with an overall objective of preparing the organization as it gears itself to enter the electoral battle for 2024 elections. We have undertaken this task, President, knowing very well that our province is 372,889 square kilometers, making it the biggest in the whole South Africa, with a population of 1,193,780 and a total of 635,699 people registered to vote. Our work has just started because according to Statistics South Africa, there are still 92,147 eligible people, young and old, who are not yet registered with the IEC to vote in the next election. In the process, we have established election structures as per the directive of the CTF program from P down to VDs, convened small-scale mining sectoral meeting, participate in IEC party licensing structures at the municipal level, and has communicated to the provincial electoral officer to establish why provincial party licensing meetings are not held. Participated in the recent IEC registration weekend. We continue to partake in the Red Fridays visibility program and other organizational activities to widen the visibility of the EFF in the Northern Cape. President, as the leadership collective in this province, we are giving priority to Namakwa region as one of the region that needed an attention which we are on top of, to ensure that the EFF had footprints all over the province for total takeover of the upcoming 2024 national and provincial elections. Commissioners and fighters, let's work together to take Northern Cape Province forward, as at the moment is led by the corrupt and directionless NC government of the useless Zamani Soul, who happens to be an academic doctor and the last premier of the ANC in this province. President, point 2 is talking about the Provincial Election Task Force. President, the EFF, the PTF has been formally constituted as per the guidelines. The provincial election structure is convened by Commissar Rebecca Mhlala and coordinated by Commissar Shetra Klaule, with the national chairperson, Commissar Veronica Mende, who's an official deployed to this province. The PTF also include the 5 regional conveners and coordinators, including also the 26 sub-regional conveners and coordinators throughout the province. Not to forget the convener and coordinator of Women Mobilization Committee, convener and coordinator of Youth and Student Mobilization Committee, convener and coordinator of Mobilization and Transport Committee, convener and coordinator of Food Bank, the convener and coordinator of Minority Committee, and the convener and the coordinator of Mass Voters Registration. PTF has a total of 75 members when we include these other committees, and it has met 6 times since its establishment. This meeting, President, we continue to use them as monitoring and implementation tool of the elections programs as deployed and adopted by the PTF of Northern Cape. Thus far, these gatherings have yielded positive results. Hence, we continue to be on the ground doing the work of the organization. All committees were established as mandated in our first PTF meeting, which also outlined the program of action as follows. Establish all 5 regional election task forces, which these RETFs would further be asked to ensure the establishment of the 26 sub-regional election task forces in all existing sub-regions. All 26 sub-regional election task forces to immediately appoint branch election task forces in all wards. To 232 BTF to appoint 20 VDTFs members at each voting station in all 731 VDs of Northern Cape. BTFs were further mandated to appoint 6 party agents per IEC voting district, as it was in preparation for the IEC registrations and going forward. Item number 3, President, it talks about Northern Cape Election Task Forces report. Commissioner and fighters were happy to report that the PTF managed to establish all RETFs in regions as per the program. Below is the regional conveners and coordinators as noted. You can see on your report is those people that the coordinator of the province introduced earlier. And then we have the election structure of Northern Cape there as well, which speak to the wards, the number of SRETF members appointed, the number of BTF members appointed, and the number of party agents that we are busy appointing. Point 4 talks to MPLCs and PLCs issues. These are the structures of the IEC with all political parties existing and participating in elections, including government sectoral component that have a role in the IEC programs and its objective of creating conducive platform for all electoral participants to partake freely without intimidation or any form of violence or discrimination. These structures coordinate all the IEC related work in the communities throughout the country. The immediate activity was the registration weekend that occurred during the weekend of the 18th to the 19th November 2023. The EFF in the province managed to deploy fighters to sit in these structures on behalf of the organization. Provincial Party Liaison Committee, and the 26 Municipal Party Liaison Committees. All our appointed representatives to municipal party liaison committees attended 2 meetings in preparation for the 18 to the 19 November 2023 national and provincial registration weekend of elections. Provincial Party Liaison Committee meeting was not scheduled, and we have raised our concern with the IEC. The Office of the Provincial Coordinator wrote a letter to the IEC. We are requesting to meet them because there's no meeting sittings there. The Commander-in-Chief, our party agents, observed IEC staff members who, as teachers and SATU members, concurrently hold position within the ANC structure. This matter will be brought to the attention of IEC during staff vetting for the second national registration weekend, that no SATU members must be recruited. There is the list of our party liaison members to IEC from province to municipalities. Point 5, we are speaking on IEC related information. Northern Cape have 5 regions and 26 sub-regions, which are municipalities with a total of 232 wards. In all these wards, there are 731 voting districts, which were open during the registration weekend of the 18 and 19 November 2023. There were 248 total registered voters before registration weekend. And currently there are 635 and 699 registered voters in the whole of Northern Cape, a slight increase of 21,451 voters that we registered over the weekend on the weekend of the 18 to the 19 November. There is the IEC station and voters information in that table. You can go through that one yourself, fighters. Sol Blackie sub-region has the highest number of registered voters, followed by David Graper and Rasgonyana sub-region. This sub-region also experienced high number of registration during the weekend of the registration, of voters registration. The lowest sub-region with registered voters being the Renosterberg sub-region. Item number 6, which speaks to Northern Cape voter support 2014 versus 2019. The table below demonstrates that the EFF is consistently enjoying more support at John Taole Gaitsewe region, while we are not in Francis Bard, that has the majority of voters in the Northern Cape. We have 128,000 registered voters in the Northern Cape. But according to previous results of elections, we're not doing very well. So we must increase our effort. Programs and activities, which is item number 7. PTF being a structure that is alive, we continue to develop programs of activities to improve and strengthen the visibility of the Red Berets on the ground. Largely, this program comes from the challenges experienced while on duty, while interacting with our established structures and the people in general, and further taking up the CTF resolution and mandates as noted. We persist in conducting the Red Friday visibility campaign across various wards and strategic locations in the province. While we wish we could report smooth progress in this program, President, challenges have arisen in several wards and sub-regions, making it difficult to organize this initiative. However, as the PTF, we are actively addressing these issues. We have tasked members of the PTF, RETF, and SRETF to continue to coordinate and participate in the program, ensuring that structures comply. Additionally, those within the province must prioritize getting their branches in order before involvement in other deployments of SRETF, RETF, PTF. Before you can be a PTF member, you start by being a branch. You belong to a branch. So start with your branch where we come from. Even members of parliament deploy outside this province. The ones that are coming from Northern Cape, they must come and also assist us in their branches and make sure that the EFF exists in those wards with all structures as required. The Andri Statani cleanup campaign remains a consistent weekly program, maintaining visibility of EFF structures while aiding communities in environmental cleaning efforts. In solidarity with striking mine workers at the Kapa mine in Kimberley, Solplaki sub-region, we organized a march. These workers had been on strike for over 3 months without pay and were subsequently dismissed. Our commitment to mass voter registration continues with a particular focus on engaging the youth and first-time voters. Item number 8 speaks to mass voters registration and registration weekend of the 18th to the 19th November. In order to have EFF voters in the IEC voters roll, the EFF in the Northern Cape have been actively recruiting new members and registering them with the IEC and on the EFF database by dialing *134*200 to 4 hash. In our information tables, details of voters who said they will be voting for the EFF were captured so as to have a database of our voters in line with the 93,681 voters target set by the CCT and the CTF. All sub-regions in the province held meetings to check the state of readiness prior the weekend of the registration. This was also done by all branches in the Northern Cape. On the weekend of the 18 and 19 November 2023, all 731 IEC registration were opened for voters registration. Voters roll inspection and voters details update. EFF in the Northern Cape have party agents in more than 90% of all voting districts, and information tables were placed outside the VDs with volunteers. Namakwa remains a region that needs our attention. Thus, we have resolved to make it a priority region, and it is promising. Minimal incidents were reported. Community members of a VD in Magaren sub-region, Majay. None of the community participated in the registration weekend due to not receiving service delivery from the municipality. PTF coordinator visited the area on the 19th November 2023 on the attempt to convince them to vote in order to remove the ANC from power. Community members were peaceful and responded positively. The PTF leaders led by the National Chairperson, Commissar Veronica Mende, the convener, Commissar Rebecca Mhlala, and the coordinator, Shadrach Hlaule, managed to visit a number of VDs from different sub-regions across the province to monitor the presence of our volunteers with their table. So below is the mass voter registration table from when we started, from the inception. But as we are not doing well, we must make sure that we get the 93,000 target from the mandated by the CTF. Item 9, consultative meeting. In line with the task required and resolved by the CTF, Northern Cape held its small-scale mining sectoral consultation meeting on the 14th October 2023 at Rechtersveld, sub-region Port Nolloth. Submission were received from this constituency of small-scale miners, and that was shared with the manifesto drafting committee at our national level. Northern Cape has a lot of artisanal and small-scale miners. They are provided with permits from Batupelu, which is a BEE company aligned to DMR, but no land to work and has court orders that grants them the permission to mine, but have to confront selfish white monopoly capitals who owns mines in the province like DBS, Ekapa, and others. Item number 10, that speaks to the committee. PTF have appointed members to serve in below committees, and the conveners and the coordinators in the provincial level form part of the PTF. So there's the committees. We've read them before. In conclusion, President, the PTF is dedicated to executing the EFF's mission and establishing the necessary election structures. understanding that preparation is key to success, and viewing 2024 as our transformative moment akin to 1994. Commissars and fighters, we must redouble our efforts and aim to surpass our target in the upcoming general elections. It is imperative to be active in all voting districts, engage with our communities extensively, and ensure that in 2024, the Northern Cape contributes significantly to the national political landscape under the EFF government. Victory is certain in 2024. Socialism is the future. Amandla! Awethu! Amandla! Awethu! Salute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissar Rebecca, for a powerful report that tells and speaks the truth. It is not changed and no one can change it. My work is so simple. Now I'm going to call to the podium our national commissar as the national chairperson of the EFF in South Africa. Sorry, Commissar, I'm reducing you to this province because of you are deployed here. Commissar, can you come forward? I'm taken by this thing. This is our Commissar Mente, deployed to the Northern Cape. Thank you very much, Commissar Mente.
Mandla! Amandla! Amandla! Viva EFF, viva! 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 Forward to economic freedom in our lifetime, forward! Forward to economic freedom in our lifetime, forward! Qina VDTF, qina! Qina VDTF, qina! Qina BTF, qina! Qina SRTF, qina! Qina RTF, qina! Qina PTF, qina! Kula Northern KPFF, kula! Kula Northern KPFF, kula! Thank you very much, Commissar Shadrack, and the coordinator of the elections in the Northern Cape. Molweni Northern Cape. Molweni Ground Forces. I'm not going to introduce the president if your energy is not on par. Molweni Northern Cape. Ninjani. Kumnandi unibona kwakhona. Fighters, andizokwenza umsebenzi omde. My work here is very simple. To realize the government of the EFF, as we say, 2024 is our 1994. We will make sure that we work hard. But today we are here to take marching orders, nomkombandlela, from the #1 ground force of the economic freedom fighters in South Africa and the president of this organization. I'm now going to introduce to you the president, the commander-in-chief, CIC Julius Malema, to come and speak to us.
Amandla! Amandla! Viva EFF, viva! Viva EFF, viva! Tata EFF, tata! Tata EFF, tata! Woza 2024, woza! Woza 2024, woza! Niyamasabana! Niyabasaba na. Niyabasaba na. Ikhalaphi. Ikhalaphi. Sibambeni. 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 Wathinta thina. Wathinta thina. Wathinta thina. Hayi amabhubesi. Wathinta amabhubesi. Amabhubesi. Wathinta amabhubesi. Amabhubesi. Wathinta amabhubesi. Umpimpu Ramaphosa. Umpimpu Ramaphosa. Umpimpu Ramaphosa. Wathakatha Ramaphosa. Makasusu Ramaphosa. Amandla. Thank you very much, fighters. Ngathi Sandri engineer usebenza no Ramaphosa. Our national chairperson, provincial convener and coordinator, provincial secretary, the regional election task forces, sub-regional election task forces, branch election task forces, and VDTFs and all ground forces of our organization. We are here today to come and speak to the structures of the EFF in preparation of the national and provincial elections. The elections in 2024 are the most important and will constitute a turning point in the political landscape of South Africa. We can say without fear of contradiction that for the first time in 2024, the ANC will be faced with a serious contestation, and this contestation will make 1994 look like a Mickey Mouse. Because when we go into this election next year, we're going to make sure that everything that we had hoped for in 1994, it is achieved after the 2024 elections. All the missed opportunities of 1994 must be gained in 2024. Because 1994 was supposed to be a year where a revolution was supposed to take place in South Africa. And revolution does not mean violence. Revolution means a complete overhaul of the system. That the old system will be replaced by a new system. That capitalism will be replaced by socialism. And therefore, for as long as there was never a complete overhaul of the system, there was never a revolution in South Africa. So revolution is not changing of faces, that a white person gets removed and replaced by a black person who is white inside. Because it will never, ever mean anything, that particular change. So I'm happy that we have all agreed and there's consensus in South Africa. And even Ipsos, the Independent Research Institute, confirmed that the ANC will be below 40% in 2024. So when you meet a person who says that the ANC is going to win, in 2024, you must know that that person needs a serious medical checkup. Because a person who's not sick, a person who's normal, will never say the ANC is going to win. Based on what? Because Ipsos is a research and research is science. So you must say to them, stop being emotional and reason like an educated person who uses science. Science says the ANC will not win 2024. It's not you, it's what science says. And there is no doubt that the ANC will not govern, and this is what Ipsos says, will not govern Gauteng, will not govern KwaZulu-Natal, and it will not govern the Northern Cape, because you are going to make sure that the ANC does not govern the Northern Cape. So fighters seated here are potential MECs and premiers and ministers and deputy ministers, director generals, and all manner of strategic people who are going to lead a progressive government come 2024. So we in the EFF do not doubt that, because the ANC started losing the elections after the formation of the EFF. The EFF was the birth of the new, which represented a new agenda. And nature demands that when the new are born, the old must die. It's not what I am saying, it's what nature says. So the ANC must die and give space for the new and fresh ideas and well-informed ideas that are going to liberate black people of South Africa and usher in economic freedom. Who would have thought? We said we are a government in waiting. But I can tell you today, we are no longer a government in waiting. We are a government in Ekurhuleni. We are a government in Johannesburg. We are a government in Nelson Mandela. We are a government in eThekwini, in Mohali City, in preparation of being a government of South Africa in 2024. When we said we are a government in waiting, they thought we were joking. So Ekurhuleni today is led progressively, powerfully by the EFF. That's why the chairperson of the EFF in Gauteng, who's an MMC of finance in Ekurhuleni, gets attacked every day because he's championing a clean government, a corrupt-free government, a government that has put at the center service delivery. In Ekurhuleni, when there is a sewer problem and you report it, in less than 24 hours, it will be resolved. In Ekurhuleni, when there's a problem of water, problem of electricity, all manner of service delivery related issues are attended to urgently. Now, as a result, the EFF is being attacked. Why? Because the EFF is delivering on its promises and they are not happy with an organization that delivers to black people. So they will attack it for as long as it's championing the interest of black people. They even go to an extent of lying about the EFF. The provincial secretary of the EFF in Gauteng goes and gives a very powerful speech during the March for Palestine. The ANC is not happy with his speech. The ANC releases a statement that this guy has not been in the legislature for the past 10 years, but is getting the money from the legislature. But the guy has not been a member of the legislature for 10 years. is only now turning 5 years in the legislature. But they lie openly on simple things that are there. They say he doesn't attend the legislature. You can go before you write a statement. You are a government in Gauteng ANC. You can ask the secretary of the legislature to give you attendance register to check if the guy is attending or not. The guy is attending legislature. They are angry with his performance, angry with the performance of the EFF. Now they are looking for things that they can say to discredit, to damage the good image of the EFF, because we are on the right track. The dogs will always bark at a moving car, and that's why they are attacking us. A lot of people were no longer interested in politics before the EFF was formed. After the formation of the EFF, everybody now is interested in politics. They are registering political parties. They are contesting as independents. Everybody, including fools, have got a view now about politics because the EFF has made politics fashionable in South Africa. You cannot imagine politics in South Africa without the EFF. No one knew that Parliament had a channel called 408 on DSTV until EFF went to Parliament. People started following that channel on TV because the EFF taught them that after electing people, don't go and sleep. You elect them and monitor them through 408, whether they are performing or they are not performing, so that in the next election, you can make an informed decision. So today, everybody knows Parliament. Today, everybody knows point of order. Even when boyfriend and girlfriends are disagree, point of order. Kulendao, point of order. Today, everybody knows Madam Speaker. Everybody knows honorable members, because the EFF has made Parliament fashionable, and people now know that these criminals can be held accountable in Parliament of the Republic of South Africa because of the EFF. Today, no one before the EFF spoke about the land. Today, everybody knows about the land. And today, everybody knows who are the people who stole our land. Even the young ones who go to white people's schools, our children who go to white people's schools, when a white child insults your black child, and your black child has got no comeback, the simple comeback is, you guys stole our land to you. Because now even the children know the land thieves. And the land thieves must be called land thieves everywhere we meet them, especially when they misbehave. They must be reminded that they are sitting on a stolen property that was taken from our people. Comrades, land is everything. Land is the beginning and the end. When you are born into this land. When you die, you must be buried on this land. You need it when you are alive. You need it when you are dead. That's why the land is the beginning and the end. But not only that, everybody who owns a piece of land has got a dignity. It doesn't matter whether he's got a shack or not. As long as he's got a piece of land, that person has got dignity, and not only dignity, but pride. Mabuya emcimbini, after drinking 1 or 2 drinks there, drunk, into a shack that has got no window, no door, no fence. He stands there by where the yard starts. The drunkard to go, this is my place. This, ke moa ka mo. A no ka mpotša selo. Ke moa ka mo. A bolele ka mokhukhu. Ke eng to talk about that mukuku without a window. That person appreciate the beauty of the ownership of the piece of land. And that's what we want to do to you, the people of South Africa, that you must have a sense of pride. When you walk, they must know, or onale motsi, you've got your own place. That's why even at home, when you stay in a back room, and it happens that there is a funeral, and a meeting is called, when you give an opinion, the back room person, but let people talk. Wait. Why? You have no piece of land. You are squatting in someone's land. That's why you can't have an opinion. What's even like rates and taxes? Let people talk. And then your sister, your brother from a squatter camp informal settlement, when she walks in, but alemo fistulo for show lapide. Hey, tired man, it's too hot. Hey, when go and fetch her water. She has got nothing. She doesn't work. She comes from a shack. She comes from squatter camp. But the fact that she comes from a house, from her piece of land, when she enters, she must be given a different kind of respect. Because land does that. White people disrespect us because we have no property. And even Motsepe is not being respected, Patrice Motsepe, by white people. Because they've put us all together. That all of them are so poor, they've got no property. Until someone tells them, no, this is a different black. He's got some mine and, but oh, yeah. But every black person they see, they will not have a respect for that person because we have no property. So even if you have a property, as long as the majority of these ones do not have a property, you will never be respected. That's why you must join the struggle for all to have the property in order for me to get my respect. Because alone, they will never respect me. So, for as long as black people are still looked down because they are propertyless, no single black person will be respected until we are delivered, all of us. It's the EFF that made the youth have interest in politics again. Because the youth of South Africa did not have interest. They had given up. They had said politics do not work for us. And if you want to argue with me, go to universities, go to TVET colleges. 80% in the whole of South Africa, they are governed by EFF student command. Because the youth respond to what makes sense. The youth are not emotional. You can't blackmail them about Nelson Mandela. This youth even doubt if there is Jesus Christ, the youth of today. But who's that dude? What are you talking about? So you can't blackmail them with Nelson Mandela and say Mandela went to jail. They're like, yeah, he went to jail for those things. We're talking now. Makes sense now. And that's why we appeal to the most educated because in the universities and the TVET colleges is the young intelligentsia, is the thinkers. You have to present, they have to question you, they ought to critique you. They've looked at all political parties and they came to a conclusion that the party that makes sense is the EFF in South Africa, and we, the youth of South Africa, are going to associate with the EFF. So no one can tell us that now the EFF, since its formation, it's not relevant. What has the EFF done? Just tell them it has revived the political consciousness of the South African population. Comrades, for 30 years, we have been led by fools. The tlaela, the pugu with no direction, passing each other like Casey and Jojo on stage without an idea of what they are doing. Every time we try to speak, they say, no, we fought for you. What are you saying? We must die because people have gone to exile. We must die because people have gone to prison. We have honored them for that. Past 30 years, we thanked them. 30 years is a lot. We can no longer say thank you beyond 30 years. Now we are looking after ourselves and our own interests, and not who went to exile, not who went to prison. We live now for the future of our children. Economically, we are excluded. Socially, we are excluded. We are jobless. We are homeless. We can't talk about poverty. Children in the Eastern Cape are now beginning to die of poverty. They are dying, literally, dying of hunger in the Eastern Cape. And once it is in the Eastern Cape, it is coming to Northern Cape. If it has not yet arrived in the Northern Cape, we are experiencing the highest form of gender-based violence ever experienced in our lifetime. Yet, this guy, when he started government, he called a summit and said, I'm going to fight gender-based violence. I'm going to defend women. After that summit, a war was declared on women and nothing was done. Because we are led by fools. You must never get tired of reminding them that they are non-thinkers. They do not think. And that's why they've got no solution to the problems that are confronting South Africa. So we have a duty, fighters, to remind these people that we are not going to continue with inequality in South Africa. We are fighting for equality and we make no apology about it. We want the economy to grow because the South African economy is not growing. That's why it can't create jobs. That's why it cannot fight poverty, because the economy of South Africa has collapsed. Municipalities have collapsed, all of them. If there is any municipality that is functioning properly here in Northern Cape, that will be a dream. Because there's no such a thing of a municipality that functions in Northern Cape. You know, Zamani, when he came in, he said he was a Marxist. Zamani Sol, he says he's a doctor. Dr. Zamani Sol. We must call him by full names because we are not scared of him. He said, when he was coming as a premier, he was a Marxist. He even went beyond that to define himself as a Pan-Africanist Thomas Sankara. He said he was a Sankara of Northern Cape, that he wants to make sure that he lives like all of us. But he was lying, and he knew he was lying. He's not Sankara, he's not Marxist, he's a con artist, he's a fraudster, he's fake, he's a liar. And the Northern Cape media doesn't expose Zamani for lying on simple things, because majority of them are in the pocket of Zamani and the leadership of the ANC. How can the journalists not hold Zamani accountable on a simple thing like, you said you want to use blue lights when you become a premier? You said you want to use blue lights. Why are you using blue lights? You said when you become a premier, you are going to sell the state house and then take the money and give children bursaries. You did not sell the state house. You did not give children bursaries. Why did you lie? I was in Cape Town, Zamani, during the State of the Nation. We were told that Zamani is going to drive in the simplest car. He will not drive German machines. He's going to drive Corolla and things like that. When I'm in the State of the Nation in Cape Town, because we now go to some hall there, I get Zamani getting out of 760i BMW, sneaking out of it. He thought no one saw him, that he's getting out of 760i BMW. The fraudster, he's trying to sneak out because he's a fake Sankara. There is no humble car driving. Here in the Northern Cape, he drives around with that thing of a Q8 or something. So, why did he lie? And in public about such a simple matter, where the journalist and the cartoonist should be cartooning Zamani with a long nose because he's a liar. He said he was going to insert Siki in the Northern Cape. He never did that. And today, he no longer speaks about insourcing of security because the ANC and Zamani benefits from the tenders of security. That's why they will not insource. He said in government events, there will no longer be a red carpet. In government events, there will no longer be a VIP area. In government events, there will no longer be a VIP catering. All of that, it's a lie. Because Zamani is a liar who makes empty promises and is not being held accountable by the media. But why is the EFF not holding Zamani accountable? Because these issues I'm raising, the EFF in Northern Cape supposed to lead those issues, supposed to raise them all the time. So we hope that you too, the leadership of the EFF, you are not in the pocket of Zamani and the leadership of the ANC, and that you don't do tenders with the leadership of the ANC, that you are not involved in corruption with the leadership of the ANC, because if you do that, the people of Northern Cape will have no reason to vote for a different party, because you are an ANC light. We cannot allow a situation where a premier who said everything is going to be done in a simple way to continue unchallenged when hospitals have collapsed. There's no public health in the Northern Cape, to a point where old people when they are sick and you say you take them to a hospital, they cry because they know they will not come back. Those things are not hospitals, they are a mortuary because the ANC has collapsed all our hospitals under Zamani's soul in Northern Cape. Fighters, Zamani said he was a simple man, yet he's got 24 hours security at his house. But the clinics of Northern Cape do not operate 24 hours, and even those that operate for those few hours do not have security. Yet a simple man has never said, take my security and give it to one clinic so that the nurses and the doctors and the equipment are protected by this security of mine. So we must not allow that the people of Northern Cape are lied to by Moses, Mwalus, MEC, Atamaya, PC member, ANC, Atamaya, a collector, 2 salaries. That's how corrupt they are. Yet to pay back 106,000 because he was admitting guilt of being involved in corruption. So in the Department of Health, people are found guilty by special commercial crimes because of corruption. Yet these people are protected by the ANC. So during COVID-19, an advisor of Zamani was involved in PPE scandals through the wife. But ask yourself, who was chairing the war room against COVID-19 of Northern Cape? Was Zamani. And that war room was deciding the allocations of PPEs and the monies thereof. Then the wife of the advisor goes and get the money. Till today, those people remain the close allies of Zaman Soul. So, Northern Cape will never enjoy its freedom and the benefits of 1994 because these leaders of the ANC are involved in all the shenanigans. There are too many minerals here. Too many. You are sitting on top of minerals, yet you are the poorest province. Yet you are a province that can't solve sewer. Yet you are a province that can't solve water. The water infrastructure has collapsed in the Northern Cape. 80% of the world manganese is found here. Just with manganese alone, we can solve all these problems. Yet, the mines are not made to, because the first thing they need to do is to build their head offices here. What made Johannesburg to be what it is was the discovery of gold. And therefore, Northern Cape discovery of all types of minerals must make it even more beautiful and more attractive than Johannesburg because it has got minerals. So how do you make it attractive? All the mining companies must be told, all your head offices must be in the Northern Cape. Once they bring their head offices in the Northern Cape, it means development. Because we must first develop those offices, then we must develop where those people are going to stay. Then we must build schools for them, then we must build hospitals. In that way, you are developing the Northern Cape because of the minerals that are found here in the Northern Cape. So, why is the ANC not doing that? because they are involved in mines. Why would municipalities, Dikgatlo, Magareng, and all types of other municipalities collapse to a point where there are 11 municipalities in the Northern Cape which are saying we are not sure if we'll open doors tomorrow. They are on the verge of closing down. Under Dr. Zamani Soul, the fake Sankara, who said when he got elected, we are going to make Northern Cape function better in line with the principles of Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara of collapsing municipalities. We cannot allow that. We cannot allow Tembelihle, Ubuntu to collapse because some liar bought journalists, bought the opposition. He can't be exposed for who he is. 11 municipalities are about to close shop here in the Northern Cape because they've got no means, none whatsoever. The grant that they get nationally, they can't even use it. When I said to you, you are led by fools, you think I'm being too harsh on them. They get given millions and they can't use those millions. Millions to build roads, millions to build water infrastructure, millions to develop skills in municipalities. They don't know how to go about it. At the end of the financial year, the grants are returned back because the municipalities are not functional. And then they are going to come and say, there's no money, there's nothing we can do. It's a lie. There's money. People can't think on how we can use this money for the benefits of the people of Northern Cape. So, fighters, there's just so much going wrong in the Northern Cape, and the life of Northern Cape is a spin. We're always being fed with spin doctoring. Someone is lying and lying and lying, and people don't get to know the truth. Zamani is a liar. The ANC is an organization of fraudsters. It's a criminal syndicate that is aiming at stealing from the people of the Northern Cape, and they must be exposed. Comrades, yesterday it was World AIDS Day. And I'm worried because it looks like we were winning with this HIV and AIDS. And now the numbers show that we're actually returning back to 2000. We cannot afford to see the youth of Northern Cape die of HIV and AIDS, because the future of the youth of Northern Cape looks bright with the government of the EFF in 2024. So we want you healthy, we want you fit, we want you proper to come and benefit from this government. So we need to go back to basics. We need to be faithful. We need to compromise if we can't be faithful. Or we need to abstain, because if we don't do things, we are going to die young. We don't want the population of Northern Cape to die young. It's a small population. Please, we want you to give birth to as many children as possible to grow this province, but we want healthy babies. So we need you, the youth of South Africa, to start taking responsibility and make sure that you are safe. But there is something to celebrate, that the people of South Africa have now stopped stigmatizing the HIV positive people. Today, we all know when a person is positive that it doesn't mean death. We know that when a person is positive, by just sitting next to that person, I won't get HIV. So today we have now embraced our own HIV positive sisters and brothers, and that is a positive move. But we need to take it to the clinics and hospital, because there is nonsense happening there. You'll find in a clinic they say those who want ARVs must come on Wednesday. Then we know on Wednesday when they are queuing there, they've got HIV. Or when they go to collect ARVs in hospitals, they say those who are here for ARVs, that side, go and queue that side. No, it must not be like that. They must sit with everyone, and then when their turn comes, they must receive the privacy like all the patients. It must be their decision if they want to tell if they are HIV positive or not. We want to call on CEOs of hospitals and managers of clinics and our nurses to please respect our HIV positive brothers and sisters. They are human beings. They deserve their dignity. They deserve their respect. And therefore, we must not treat them the way we are treating them. So fighters, we know that with the government of the EFF in power, there are no mine workers who can be retrenched and be dismissed, like the report was suggesting earlier on, because the EFF government is going to be protective of the workers and the workers' rights, and no worker will be subjected to any cruelty of the management and the government. All of these fighters can never be achieved without you, because you are the epicenter. You are the lifeblood of the EFF. That without you, there is no EFF. That we who are sitting here in front, even if we may wish to sit here alone without you, there is no EFF. So, if you didn't come today, and then we came, there will not be a meeting of the EFF, because you are the EFF, and without you, there will never be EFF. So, ground forces, you must know that as a ground force, you must be a motivation in society. You must attract attention in society. You must maintain the radicalism of the EFF and spread it in communities. Because you can't say you are a ground force and you can't mobilize community, you can't agitate community, you cannot lead community struggles. You have never led a protest, but you call yourself a ground force. A ground force must lead a protest in a community, because that's what you need to do. But you must differentiate between factional protest and authentic protest. Because you might join a protest only to find that ke protest ya ma ANC ba lwa amongst themselves, but no councillor must go, because they don't want that councillor because it doesn't belong to this faction. Then when now we are joining our ground force, you are joining ANC protest. No, you must have the eyes and the ears, the smartness to realize if this protest is an authentic protest. Fighters, you must identify community issues and address them. And please do not address communities as a group and say these people. As a ground force, you must know each and every family in your community. You must know who is in that house. Is there a person with a wheelchair in that house? is an old woman staying alone in that house. Is that family child-headed family? So that one day when you are seated like this, they say, no, people are donating wheelchairs. You remember, hey, there's a person there in my community who needs a wheelchair. But if you don't know community issues, wheelchairs are donated, you are not participating. When you arrive home, they tell you, hey, there is a person here who's struggling with a wheelchair. Yes, man. What's working to the wheelchair? But if you know your community members by names, by surnames, they will always respect you and always know that this ground force of the EFF is a dependable force. Fighters, we must always be amongst our people and genuinely address their problems. Now you're going to address the problems of communities because we are going to elections. You are resolving community problems because you want them to vote for you. That is not resolving problems of communities. That is opportunism of the highest order. Help our people without asking them to vote for the EFF after helping them. You go to school and you say to principal, give these people reports. It's now end of the year. Principals are going to refuse with the reports. You are going to go there. Yeah, give them reports. Give these children reports. You don't have a contract with them. You've got a contract with their parents, not the children. Give them reports. Then they give children reports. As you march out of school with parents and children, that is not a genuine resolving of community issues. You must do it out of love. You must do it out of passion without expecting anything in return. What stops you as a councillor or as a ground force that can afford to always go on the queue of gogos who are waiting for SASSA money on SASSA payday? In those long queues, just give them soup and bread as they are waiting for their turn. What stops you from arranging a kumbi? Because a taxi, you just go to a taxi owner and say, how much do you make per day? He says 500 rand. You say, I'm removing this taxi from the line today. I'm giving you 700 rand. You are going to pick up these gogos to the paying point to collect their pension and then bring them back home. Without expecting nothing in return in any way. What is 700 rand to you, Councillor? What is 700 to you, a fighter who can afford? Because that 700 rand, you are going to drink it with expensive whiskey, put it to a positive use, and help the communities. When you walk past, the gogos must smile in appreciation. Umntwana wethu lo. Umntwana wethu lo. You live longer and you get more blessings. And when the EFF starts to campaign, you will not stay long in people's houses explaining yourself. Because when you enter, you don't have to say, hey, Malema, hey, land, hey. They know your work in the community. When you enter, they receive you and say, this one is one of us. And will support the EFF because of the efforts of this individual who looks after us. Where is that councillor, Shadrach, of your, is it your what? Where, let him stand up. Sundowns, stand up. Come here. Come. Hey, Oza, Baba, I don't have time. Oza. So this comrade, I went to attend a funeral. Come stand here. I went to attend a funeral of Shadrach's mother. And then an old woman who's a friend of Shadrach's mother, and they go to the same church. She greets the leadership as protocol. And then she stops a bit. Then she starts speaking. Then as she's about to conclude, she says, hey man, when you saw me earlier greeting leaders and stopping, I knew I'm forgetting something. I'm forgetting to greet my counselor. Counselor ya rena. Re re why? Re nyaka go gore why mogekolo a bolela ka counselor? Our municipality is so poor, there is nothing. Our councillor is not a municipality, it's not government. But he never forgets to go and fetch water and deliver water house by house. He never forgets to go and take the grannies to paying points. He never forgets to come and help us, the old ones, this councillor. So he says, now I would have made a terrible mistake if I had not spoken about my councillor. All I'm saying is, let old people, without expectation from you, speak about you so well and so positive in front of other people because of your work, because of your manners, because of your discipline. So thank you for being a good example of how a councillor of the EFF must behave. And I'm going to ask the TG to send you 50,000 that must be used in the community where you come from. It must be used for community project. We're giving you that money because we know that when we give it to you, it will benefit ordinary people on the ground, and they'll talk about it. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Thank you. Thank you. So, fighters, you must be exemplary. When people insult their children or discipline their children, they must not say, wena utshwana le my EFF fale ka usawen. They must say to their children, why ujika jika mo my EFF ke ale kwa? Go and join them and do something positive, because they know that when EFF people gather, something positive comes out of their gathering. Comrades, we must do impactful community projects that are going to touch lives. You must be charitable as a fighter. Some of you, especially you female fighters, I don't know, maybe even the national chair, you've got dresses in your wardrobe from when you were doing grade 8. And then you come and stand here. We must help the poor. We must help. But you can do it the little way of just going to empty your wardrobe and share with the poor of the poorest in the community. Before you come to tell us about Zaman Soul, wenzani wena? A charitable work of the shoes you no longer need can go a long way in changing the attitude of a hopeless child into a positive attitude. Just a small gesture of saying, we know you exist and we know your struggles and your sufferings. The little we can do is this. But with time, we can do more. But you show more through small. You will know that one day when you've got, you will share more with them. So you can't be a fighter and not be charitable. A fighter must be a knowledgeable person. Read something. You cannot be a fighter who's not knowledgeable. Because when people see the red beret and see the t-shirt of the EFF, they expect superior logic. And superior logic, you are not born with it. You accumulate it over a period of time through reading. Don't read for anyone. Don't read to remember. Just read something. You don't have to remember it tomorrow. But one day it is going to come very handy in an unexpected environment. You will not even know where it comes from. But better question, the library of the brain where you stored that knowledge. Just decide to open that day. And then you sound so profound, like, pa, pa, pa. Ofeja o bolela le wena hore, chomi, where did that come from? Le nna be di mmagajije like, okay, shock wena. Why? Once you read something, it gets stored somewhere. And one day it just comes out like that. And you come across as a knowledgeable leader of society. So you need to read a lot. Read a chapter every day. Why? If you look at the time you spend reading comments on Facebook, on Twitter, on WhatsApp, and all of the social media that you consume, especially when you wake up in the morning or when you go to sleep at night, just go and check the time you spend on social media. Accumulating junk. Junk. Look at the time you spend on social media. Look at the time a chapter will take for you to read. The social media consumes more time than reading a chapter. You can read a chapter and still participate in the social media. You lose nothing. If anything, you are gaining knowledge. You cannot be a leader. And when I ask you now, which book are you reading? Love, true love. Leadership is knowledge. And without knowledge, people can't respect you. They wanted to ridicule us and make mockery of us and project us as illiterate people who don't know anything. We never listened to them. We continued pursuing our message from a superior logic perspective. As they were ridiculing the message, and we stayed on the message because the facts were on our side, they began entertaining the message. Because they knew there's no way escaping this message. That's what happens. When you are a leader, when you speak, they will not listen to you. They will ridicule you. But over a period of time, through your articulation, they will be able to recognize you as a leader. You will never be recognized as a leader if you have nothing to offer. You speak like you are sitting at some shopping complex there. You know how the boys speak recklessly and loosely when they are together at the shopping center there. You speak like that, yet you call yourself a leader. No. A leader must have the capacity to teach. must have the capacity to give people, share with people knowledge. When they know we can learn something from this guy, then they will know we can trust this guy because it's a knowledgeable person. So you must listen to Fikile Mbalula when he speaks. You realize that this guy represents the lowest level of the leadership of the ANC. So sound better than Mbalula. Do not be worse than Mbalula. Aparua Rizina, you like, you know, we used to respect fools here. So when they say you are a BET convener, BET coordinator, they mean that you are responsible for the work of the election in that branch. And part of your job, they spoke about it, is to establish VDETFs. So you are going to leave this meeting today and you are going to irritate us. I'm the coordinator. I'm the coordinator of BT. What are you coordinating? Because there are no VDETFs in your branch. Because your job is to coordinate the establishment of VDETFs. And after establishing them, you don't leave them. You permanently coordinate them to check whether they are alive. They've got door-to-door programs. They've got this, they've got that. That's why you are called a coordinator. Coordination of the VDETFs. So stop telling us you are a coordinator if you are not coordinating anything. How do we ensure that these VDETFs stay alive? We must convener. We must convene activities. So activities must not be convened in one VD. The convener will convene activities. The coordinator coordinate the rotation of those activities VD by VD. So if this weekend we're in this VD, next weekend we must be in the next VD. Because a lot of you think that your VD is a ward. You don't even know that there are other VDs in your ward very far from where you are staying. You have never been. Mara, you are a coordinator. So, convener convenes all of those activities. Coordinator coordinates them. But who must be there? It must be activists who are there to make sure these activities happen. When we say to you, where are the activists in this branch? We don't see the activists. You say there are no activists. There will never be activists without activity. Activities, activists. Once you have activities, there are going to be activists. Because now they are active in this, active in that. Why must we be activists without activity? What are we active on? What is activity? A march to police station because people are stealing a sheep here and goats. A march of GBV. A march of rates and taxes. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be this size. You're from a small ward. The chairperson was telling us yesterday that some of the VDs here in Northern Cape have got 60 voters. So why would you call a march and expect 100 people to come in such a VD? 20 people, 30 people, 50 people, 100 people. There must be an activity. Once you take those 50 people up on community issues, community is observing. Next time you call another activity on community issues, from 30 you are 60 because they saw you guys last week that you mean business. You don't mean business by talking. You take action. And you'll take action with few men and women. And when people see action, they will join the action. Without activities in your branches where you come from, forget about winning anyone to come into the EFF. So, fighters, our campaign is person to person. Moto moto. We speak to a person like this, not loud hailer. Whoa, 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 whoa. Door to door. That's where we're going. That's where our people are waiting for us to come and hear the message of the EFF. You do that as a discipline force, as a member and a ground force of the EFF. You don't disrupt other people's campaigns. You don't destroy other people's posters and leaflets. If you are bored, you don't know what to do, and you feel like removing posters, go and remove the posters of the EFF. I get the posters of the EFF, they are few, because EFF is poor, doesn't have money. Remove them from this street, go and put them on the other street. Remove from that street, go and, so that by the time elections comes, all streets have had a 10 of a poster. I get you feel like removing posters. Remove ours. Ubete mobile billboard. When do not use that energy negatively. Use it for the benefit of the organization. Fighters, you don't disrupt meetings of anyone. Do not stop people from doing door to door. Even ANC people must do door to door and enter your house. Do not chase them away. If you do that, you are already failing in superior logic. You are a coward who can't engage. Let them come in, sit here, so that you can tell them their issues face to face. Stop gossiping about them. You gossip about them. Why don't you want them to come and sit with you? You have been saying a lot of nonsense about them. When it's your turn to tell them, you say, hi. You behave like you are brave. You are not brave, you are scared. Let them come in. If you have won our people through positive message, and you know that your message is with our people, no one can break them through door to door. Once you stop them from doing door to door, they're going to stop you. They will stop you, and you're going to become a crybaby. Don't do to others things that you will not be happy if they are done to you. So as a ground force that is knowledgeable and not scared to engage, must never be scared for people to do door to door. Don't threaten anyone. Don't lie like Zamani's soul. Never go to communities and lie. Tell the truth all the time, because you will not have to remember the truth. The truth remains the truth. That's why even in court, they can still trial you after 10 years. Or what happened? You can't change the facts if it's true. They remain the same. So never lie to our people because you want to win them over. Do not smoke when you are campaigning for the EFF in front of a voter. Vote for EFF. You have lost that vote already. Forget. Do not smoke when talking to voters. Do not drink alcohol and smoke. It's because, not only that, do not smell alcohol. Because once people hear smell of alcohol, suspicion of drugs, they no longer listen to the message. So when you are drunk or you smell alcohol and you do door to door, you must know it's a waste of time. You are wasting your time. Because once people hear you smelling alcohol or you are drunk, they switch off. They can't wait for you to leave. But we are the people's organization. We've got our own people who drink, our own drunkards. You don't chase them away. You must use them strategically. You don't do door to door. Go and sit at the cooking center because we suspect those people are going to steal that food. Now you must guard them there. Don't say, hey, you're a drunkard, don't want a drunkard. Hey, go. You must know each other's strength and where it can be used. And we even put him there and buy tour. Sit here. We'll see you when we come for lunch. Guard them. We come back lunch, 2 is finished, another 2. Sit here. When we finish, we are coming to join him. And then we also relax from hard work. And then go home after that. So you must not leave here and say, in the EFF, they say they don't want alcohol. Alcohol people are, There's times for that. Because we are professional revolutionaries, we have time for everything. So that's what, from now onwards, we need to do. Do not use vulgar language. Do not swear. But most importantly, never do door to door with a dirty regalia or dirty clothes or dirty self. So, you were given a t-shirt at Mangaung when we're celebrating a 9 years anniversary. That is the only t-shirt of the EFF you have. Now you feel you must go door to door. I can't do the door to door without EFF regalia. You go and take that thing, t-shirt that is finished. You wear it. And then you go and say to people, you see, molala wile mo. Ro le fa mebereko ka molala. Mesebetsi ke e mengata molala. Or le shuba. Ina le mashuba holes. The message, the molala takes the message. They won't hear you. Always be clean. Always look presentable, because people must take you serious. You must dress the way you want to be addressed. Do not smell armpits and all of that. You are getting into this house here in Khaleshiwe, a nice, beautiful house. The people understand themselves there, they are relaxed. You just come in with a smell of armpits. You are disrupting their peace. Or re tlole fame sebetsi re age matlu a o tsama ba re le khwafa le ka fama mosebetsi le khwafa armpits le khwafa. You must be presentable. You must be knowledgeable. You must speak from an informed point of view. When they look at you, they must say, this is the government of 2024. You must represent how the future is going to look like. Because you represent the future. You don't represent backwardness. And being clean does not mean being expensive. We must be presentable so that we become attractive and people are welcoming of us in their families. In that way, We have already won the votes by just how we appear. Never speak to people before you greet them, and ask them if they've got time to listen to you. Don't just arrive and then start talking. Dikgetho, we were dikgetho. Let our vote, let our vote, let our vote. You greet, introduce yourself, who you are, where you come from. Do you have time to speak to us? But yes, go ahead. Then you start speaking to them by how you present yourself. What is the people who can speak? That's why that thing of interviews is very dangerous. You go and interview a person who's got code 14. He says, no, I can drive trucks. Code 14, change gear up 6, go that way. Or no problem. You are hired. You pass the interview, but before we give you appointment letter, ke truck. O bone se boledi se nyaka hore e statiwa kae se lebella le ka mo fasa truck. O swantse o tsebe polelo. Can we talk to you? But yes. So yalo ba o buledi ditsebe yona. Ore o tswa eng ka. Yeah, speak. Yes, we hear you. What are you saying? O ka idea ngwena load shedding. Huh? Rinche load shedding mo le da idea nglena load shedding. O diang le wena wa joina yona ya re bolaya yo. Hey. Ape bana ebile ba feditse le di exam ba ngwala ka hara masisi. Ko wena yo le o leadang e complain. No, you can't do that. You must have the solution to that problem because you are a doctor of society. You diagnosed what are the problems in society and how you are going to solve those problems. So you cannot join in the complaining. Load shedding, we are going to solve it because we are going to make sure that we service all our coal power stations, make them to function at an optimal level, and then build more capacity to complement the existing capacity which was built a long time ago before the population became electrified. Now that majority of our people have got electricity, we need extra capacity. We're going to build coal power stations. We have no problem with alternative energy. They can come up with alternative energy, but we will not destroy coal power stations without an alternative. When you want me to close this coal power station, immediately what am I going to replace it with? Wind is not enough. So the problem was started by corruption, which did not service the coal power stations. As a result, they are collapsing one after another. And we'll go and ask for help from Russia, from China, from India, from all progressive countries. Because when you are in crisis, you must cry for help. Don't say, no, Chinese are going to control us. Hey, Russians are going to control us. We are being controlled now by Europeans. Now, who give us money to shut down our coal power stations. In alternative for what? Nothing. The reason why Chinese are going to control you is because they want to continue controlling you as the Europeans. But under the EFF, there's no Chinese who can control us. We give you 30 years build, operate, transfer permission. We don't spend any money. China, come build the biggest coal power station here in South Africa. We've got coal, which these people are stealing through Richards Bay. Build it here. We won't give you money. We don't have money. Build it with your money. operate it, will buy this electricity from you for 30 years. After 30 years, you hand it over, you leave. And then it becomes ours. And then what happens? We have not spent a cent on those coal power stations. So don't allow them to lie to you. Say, why? Why do you say you are going to give us jobs? How are you going to give us jobs? You must tell them that our economy is not industrialized. There is no manufacturing in South Africa. Every product from Northern Cape leaves Northern Cape raw as it is. So once they put that thing in a truck, then you must know they've put jobs on the truck. Jobs are living. Because those minerals, when they are processed, those are jobs. This diamond that you produce here in Kimberley, it must be produced here. Is jobs. Miners take it out. Then from there, it must go to be polished. Meaning there must be a factory that polishes this diamond. Is jobs. Then there must be another factory that is going to cut this diamond. Is jobs. Then there must be another shop which is going to sell the finished product. Is jobs. All of that is jobs that are being taken away from us. So the EFF is going to stop all those trucks that are going to Richards Bay. All of them are going to return back to where they went to fetch the minerals. Let the factories be opened there, where you produce the final finished product of that particular mineral. Our economy has got potential to create a lot of jobs. Not these things that they are saying Zimbabweans are taking from you. But hey, Arlo Lima Zimbabwe. Barchiela Mebereko. Hey, okay. What are those jobs? Lelwa. Why Lelwa Lima Zimbabwe? We don't want foreigners. We don't want. Why? They are taking our jobs. Which jobs? The one of Mulungu. You and Zimbabweans are fighting to work for a white man. That's what you are fighting about. And the white man makes you fight. Fight. The one who wins shall work for me. You are fighting to work for a white man. You are not fighting to establish industries and factories and own them and hire white people. You are not fighting to hire white people. You are fighting to be hired by a white man. I've never worked for a white man. I will never work for a white man. I don't want my people to work for the white man. They must work for themselves. They must have the land. They must have factories. They must own the economy. And what I'm saying is not a dream. If a white man can do it, you can do it. And that should be the attitude of all of us. So, fighters, you must not go there and say, hey, yeah, Zimbabwe problem. Hey, what? We are people of discipline. That's why when we're singing Ngosi Sigelel, where we say Africa, you guys kept on saying South Africa. There's nothing called South Africa. I've spoken for too long now. I'll one day educate you about it. There is nothing called South Africa. It's Africa. This is Africa. So there's no need to be saying South Africa. Once you say Africa, everything is in it, including the south of Africa. This is when we say South Africa, it's a geographical location within the continent of Africa. That's why the EFF logo does not have South Africa as a map. Because EFF is not a South African party. EFF is an African party that seeks to unify the whole of Africa and make this continent to be one. They say to you, hi, hey, Malema wants to do away with borders. Hey, Malema is going to bring people here. They are going to come to South Africa. One, there are no borders in Europe. There are no borders in Europe. You can wake up in Italy and go and eat breakfast in Britain and have your lunch in Spain. No issue. They have no borders. But they say we must have borders. But let's look at this thing that they keep on saying, that when you move the borders, people are going to come to South Africa because South Africa has got more resources. That's why they're going to come here and destroy what we have. It's not true. I come from Limpopo. There's no border between Limpopo and Gauteng. And Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. But the people of Limpopo have never left their homes to go to Gauteng, because people always go to where there is richness. That's why they are going to leave Nigeria and come here. To come and do what? They will never come here. They've got their own beautiful homes. And even if they wanted to come, there was nothing that was going to stop them. Nothing was going to stop those people from Lesotho, because there is no fence. This is a lie. It's a myth. It's a dream to say we're divided by a fence. Is not true. There's no fence. Those people of Lesotho go to Free State to drink alcohol. It's Saturday today. Ale tapama fella in the afternoon, but what are you talking about? Same thing in Swaziland and Mpumalanga. Same thing with Mozambique and Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. Why didn't those people of Mozambique move en masse to go to KwaZulu-Natal? Because we are being told here, if you open the borders, these people will come here. There are no borders. It's a gate without a fence. Imagine in your home, more front. Auna fence marlebele gate. That's what we are. So, scientifically and practically, if those people wanted to come here, they would have been here. It's a lie that they will come in here. It's not true. There's no fence. Mashaba went to Zimbabwe border there now. And he says, yeah, Malema. He's talking absolute nonsense. He saw for himself. There is no fence. But there are still people in Zimbabwe. They didn't leave Zimbabwe to come to South Africa because there is no fence. It's not true. It's not true. But anyway, everywhere in the world, including America, it has always been built by migrant laborers. This economy of South Africa that we're speaking about, if you are going to account for it, you won't exclude the people of Mozambique, of Malawi, of Zambia, of Botswana, of Lesotho. For Johannesburg to be what it is those people. That's where the language Fanaka law comes from. It confirms that different nations were working underground to take out the gold and diamond that made South Africa to be what it is. The EFF did not invent Fanaka law. Where does Fanaka law come from if these people just met now? They came now during EFF. Our people have always been together, with or without the EFF. So fighters, please, when we leave here, we are going to become the best of the best on the ground. We are going to work for the organization We're going to work for the organization. We're going to make sure the organization shines and becomes a beautiful thing that has ever happened to our communities. We're going to make sure that the IEC works with us to remove SADU members who are ANC leaders, not teachers. We are not removing teachers. We are removing these SADU people who said they are going to make sure the ANC wins elections by all means necessary. Please, when you leave as a fighter, you must look after each other, because there is too much hate out there against us fighters. And then we cannot afford to hate each other. So you can't say you are a fighter and a ground force if you hold grudge. A fighter doesn't hold grudges. A fighter expresses his or her view now, and it ends there. After that, we go and do the work of the organization. Northern Cape has got Xhosa speaking people. The national chair will know this. The concept Makabani is a concept that comes from initiation schools. So when we grow up in the struggle, we used to call each other Makabani. So Makabani means, I also don't have a good concept for that thing. There's this powder they apply on the body when you are in the initiation school. You must apply the whole body, including at the back. But you are in an initiation school, there is no mirror for you to look at and then apply it much better and make sure it happens properly. Another initiate must put it behind you. Then they call it ukutaba. But then wawukaba, then return wamkaba now. So you become Makabani. That's where the concept Makabani comes from. That we are nkaba, nyawukaba. You've got my back, I've got your back. So, as fighters, you must be Makabani to each other, because in the initiation there, this thing must be applied so neatly and so beautifully, because if you get out of this heart, the teacher is outside and you have not applied it properly, you run a risk of being beaten. That you have not applied it properly. But it's not you who applied it at the back. And they don't care if it's you or not. You don't even know what they are talking about, because you don't see what's happening at the back. But my Likabani has taken care of my bag. I don't have to see my bag. I've trusted my Kabani that he will do a better job. And that I will never be beaten because I've not applied it properly at the back. I know he will never do this to me. The Kabani Lam. So you must be that to each other. You must take care of each other. Have each other's back. So that when I fight the enemy in front and someone shout, there is an enemy coming from behind, I don't have to look at back, because I know my Likamani is at the back, will take care of the enemy at the back. Be that to each other. Be that to each other. Don't go to meetings of the sub-regional election task force. The convener gives you an apology. When you arrive there, is there any apologies? You don't talk about it. Because repeatedly, the convener must be absent so that they can expel this person from the EFF. For what? For what? Always cover for each other. So that by the time now you're given up and you are telling the truth to the leadership about this guy, you should have satisfied yourself repeatedly that I've tried. Now I have to tell the leadership. But it can't be first instance you are ready to sell out your own. So we are living here in Khaleshiwe. Chair, you said this hall is Maibuye. We are living here today knowing what is expected from us. We are living here knowing what we are to each other. As we live here, we are going to hold each other's hand. We are going to march. We are not marching to Kimberley. We are not marching to Kuruman. We are not marching to Namakwa. That will be a directionless march. Our march from here goes straight to Pretoria, to the Union building. It's not going to be stopped. No one will ever stop this march that started in Khaleshiwe, that is going to deliver our people to economic freedom in our lifetime. We will never rest. We will fight until the flag of the EFF is on top of the Union building. We will fight until the flag of the EFF flies high all over the world, in all embassies of South Africa, because EFF will be the government of South Africa in 2024, whether they like it or they don't like it. The EFF is unstoppable. Amanda! Amanda! Viva EFF, viva! Tata EFF, Tata! Tata EFF, Tata! My Shome! My Shome! My Shome! My Shome! Auno Makubi! Siaya! Siaya! No Makubi! Siaya! Siaya! No Mabesetubola! Besishaya! Besibopa! No Mabesetubola! Besishaya! Besibopa! No Makubi! Siaya! Siaya! No Makubi! Siaya! Siaya! No Mabesetubola! Besishaya! Besibopa! No Mabesetubola! Besishaya! Besibopa! Who left? Who right? Come on, sir. Who left? Kita! Kilo man! Kiri wata Samarumo! Rumo! Asicha! Where were you when I'm shit? Where were you when I'm left? So fast, Kichi! Hemoye! So fast, Kichi! Hetati! Kichi! Kichima! Kichi! Kichima! Wonke labant! Hevagit! Wonke labant! Hevagit! Siltatile! Helagit! Siltatile! Helagit! Brr! Pa! Pa! Brr! Pa! Pa! Station!
Amanda, comrades, thank you very much. I'm not going to do
anything except to say thank you very much, CIC. We are motivated. What's going to happen now? You are here. We gave you something to eat in the morning. Now that you are going home, we are going to get again something to eat to appreciate that we are here together. So we are saying thank you to members of the EFF, leaders of the EFF. Next thing that is going to happen, we are going to release the leadership. We are asking for a space the same way we did earlier on. The same way we did earlier on, so that the leadership must go out nicely, peacefully, without any problem. President and the leadership, you are released. Thank you very much. A space there. No one must be in the center. No one. Make a space. Go, go.